It says we are streaming on Facebook. We did it. Okay. Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I am doing really good. This is my very first time doing something using this technology. So, God, I hope this works.
It'll be fine.
It will. It'll be fine. So I'm going to pull up the group on my phone just so that I can see if there's any questions that came in,
Okay.
because I had some questions come in from our audience about you and some things that we could talk about. So I would love to introduce Dr. Heather Rothbauer-Wanish, right? Did I say that?
Yep.
Rothbauer-Wanish? Did I say that right?
Yep, that is right.
She's our 2020 Diamond Trainer. The topic is communication. And so I would love to learn a little bit more about, you've been a Diamond member now for this first year. Was this your first year as a Diamond member?
Yeah, actually, I was a member when Diamond first came out a few years ago, and then I took a couple of years off. So I'm just finishing up, yes, this current year.
So what made you decide to become a Diamond member and then do the scary thing and apply to be a trainer?
Oh, yes. So I wanted to be a Diamond member because I feel like I've been at my business for a while now, full time for about 4 years or so. And I'm ready definitely to kind of go to that next level and to make a move. So it just felt like the right time to kind of do that and to step into some more training and, connecting with people and things like that. So I'm excited about that. And then when the training thing came up, I was like, I think I could do that. I teach college classes occasionally, and so I feel like I'm doing training all of the time with students. And so I applied and was selected, and I'm really excited about that because what I have found is whether it's through my business or through teaching, that's what I love to do, is like the training and the coaching and the mentoring. And for me, there's nothing better than hearing from somebody like, oh my gosh, I so enjoyed, this that you told us, and here's how I used it. So the trainings that I provide will definitely be the types of things that you're like, okay, here's what she said, here's how I can use it. So that's going to be my focus.
Awesome. So one of the questions that came from Jackie Kaloran asked, what is your favorite book on communication?
Well, I love reading. I took a step back from reading when I was finishing my PhD because I was so tired of reading. But yeah, exactly. It was boring reading. So now I'm ready to jump back in. But I think as far as kind of communication books, and I know it's more of a personality style, but Strengths Finders is a great book because it allows you to recognize your own communication style. But then when you know the people that you interact with and the people that you work with, and then can read about them, to me, that's one of the best books because I think we all know how we communicate to a certain extent, but figuring out, okay, well, this person is this way, here's how I need to communicate with him or her is so important. So that's probably the top of my list.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah. I really enjoyed this 16 personalities. Have you done that one before?
I haven't done that one. I feel like I've done all of the other ones.
It's really, really fascinating because it tells you what celebrities you are the most like. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like Oprah. Yay! Who doesn't feel like Oprah, right?
Yeah, and I think the other thing, even though this has nothing to do with business, is once you take one of those quizzes, it's like, I should give this to my significant other, because what you'll find is and this is this way, whether or not it's a personality profile or communication style, but it's good to know that because you live with that person most of the time. So it's good to know that information. And what I have found is that there's kind of that old saying that opposites attract, and it's true to a certain extent, because if two people are the exact same way, you're going to have this all of the time. But taking those quizzes and those profiles kind of gives you that feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have, as a diamond trainer, each trainer provides, they do 10 trainings and 2 intensives. And so I printed out what your training topics are. So, because I'm sure you probably wouldn't be able to remember all of, you printed it out.
I have it out too.
Well, do you want to touch on that and like share what what you plan to how you plan to help people with their business in Diamond membership this next season?
Sure. So one of the things that I have figured out with working with people on resumes and bios and different things is that women especially have a really challenging time communicating about themselves and about their business because they feel like they're bragging. And I told somebody at Celebration in my breakout, I said, if it's what happened, then it's what happened. Like, you're not bragging, it is what it is. So we'll be talking about how to positively communicate about yourself and your business, and to kind of get that feeling away that you are bragging or you're, saying I'm the best ever. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about how to develop a press release for your business, because that you can be used on your website. You can send it to local TV stations, to publications, different places like that. I'll give you some tips for writing up your bio, because I know a lot of members are speaking at events or writing at events. And so we can do different things around that. And I'll also talk about kind of aligning your writing with your personality, because I think sometimes we get, we think, well, our writing has to be up here. It has to be portrayed this way, even though I'm kind of more this way. And that's not true. Like, we want to make sure our writing and how we talk about ourselves aligns with our personality, because that's important. So those are some of the things we'll talk about. And then as far as like one of the intensives, we'll be talking about like kind of my top 10 tips for effective writing, because as entrepreneurs, we try to do as much as we can on our own. And so when you're doing some of those different things, I think there's some quick, easy tips that I can give people where they can elevate their writing style without, kind of going crazy and spending tons of time on it.
Awesome. I'm so excited because writing my bio is hard to talk about yourself because it feels kind of egotistical almost, but it's like that people need to know, but it's kind of that, what are people going to think about me? What are people going to say about me? Like, I totally get it. Yeah.
Well, and even just the idea of verbally, like being able to think on your feet, like, okay, well, what if somebody said, guess what? In 30 seconds, you're going to have a minute to tell us about you. What are you going to say? Yeah. So just thinking that way too, and not being rehearsed, but having something in mind that you can kind of focus on.
Mm-hmm. So one of the questions that I've had is, do you have to be an extrovert to be a part of Diamond?
I know, I saw that question. I was like, ooh, I can talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so no, you do not have to be an extrovert to be in Diamond. One of the things that I've shared with multiple people now is like, so I would consider myself either an introvert or an ambivert. So meaning that if I had a choice of, tonight I can go to a party and hang out with people, or I can read a book tonight, I'm reading the book. Like, I don't want to go hang out with a bunch of people. At the same time, I like hanging out with a bunch of people. So the funny thing is when I go to Celebration, just, recently here, I don't share a room. And I don't mean that in such a way like, I don't have anybody I'd want to share a room with. It's just like, I need that time. I need that time away from people where, I can do some work, or I can just veg out or read a book or watch Law and Order or whatever. So no, you do not have to be an extrovert. I think the nice thing about Polka Dot in general and in Diamond, just be who you are. Nobody thinks twice. I remember the first year when I went to Celebration where we had a hotel room, and I was like, oh, I don't really want to share a room with anybody. And no, I was like, well, that seems kind of bad because everybody else is like, oh, this is so fun, and I'm sharing a room with 4 people, and I thought, oh, that's no, no. And so I think that that's the nice thing about it. Nobody thinks anything of it. It's like, oh, well, whatever, do what you have to do for yourself. So no, you don't have to be an extrovert. You just have to be willing to chat with people. But no, it's not. It's definitely not a necessity.
Do you find it hard to find your place of like where, do you feel like extroverts take over any of the meetings or anything like that? Do you feel like you get your opportunity to talk and share, and it's not like we're hoarding the spotlight as extroverts?
No, and I think the funny thing is like the other day I was in a mastermind group through Diamond, and it came to my turn, and I was like, I don't really have anything to share, at this point. And she's like, well, we're going to come back to you. Like, we're definitely coming back to you. So, I mean, even when, I think they encourage you, but in a nice way to say, everybody has something that we can talk about. Like, let's figure this out. So, but in an encouraging, nice, sort of proactive way, rather than you have to do this or you have to do that.
Yeah.
And that's what I like, because I mean, frankly, even if you are an extrovert, you're going to have off days where it's like, I don't feel like, talking about whatever this particular thing is. So no, I never feel like they take over the meetings or anything like
that. Good. So you mentioned the mastermind. So you want to talk a little bit about your experience in Diamond, and I know that the masterminds are one of your favorite parts. You want to share a little bit more about that?
Sure. So this year, we did some small mastermind groups, and a lot of it, people just said, I'm interested in this, and then they kind of just paired us out with whoever happened to work out schedule-wise. Our small group mastermind has been amazing, and that has definitely been one of the biggest things that I've gotten out of it this year. The nice thing about it is, of course, yes, we talk about business, we talk about challenges, problems, things like that. But there was one time a few months ago in the spring where I was like, do we have to talk about business? Like, I've got this major thing going on with my son and one of his teachers, and it's like just sucking up all of my time. And so they helped me mastermind around like my son having an issue with a teacher. And so kind of figuring that out. So that's been really nice. And then the funny thing is that a lot of us were able to meet each other for the first time at Celebration in Boston. And so, yeah, I feel like we're even closer than ever because we've been meeting twice a month for almost a year. So you really do get to know people a lot more, and on kind of a personal and a professional level, where you feel like you can share these things and you don't have to worry about it going, outside of the group or anything like that.
That's super great. Super, super great. Well, we did have another question come through.
Oh, okay.
Tammy McCartney from Diamond asked, how do I communicate during an interview, a client interview, when they aren't asking or saying anything? She had a recent interview with a potential client, and it was like dead silence and kind of awkward. And she's like, what do I say? What do I do in this like moment of no one's talking?
Sure. So I mean, obviously most people know, like, don't ask closed questions, ask something where they have to like give you more information. So I have interviewed clients like that too, where it's like a one-word response, and it's like, okay, well, what else, So in that case, it's like, tell me how you started your business. Why are you passionate about what it is that you do? That's one of the things that I ask people. So, why do you like what you do? How long have you been in business? Why did you start this business? I think that those are some good things to do. The other thing is, sometimes I think that as just people, we try to fill in that space because it's like, oh, this is really awkward. Dead silence. But if you let that silence pause for a little bit, they will talk because they feel the same way. So that's something that you could do also. But I always encourage people, like, have a couple of questions in your back pocket for when you go into those situations. so that you can make sure that it's, not challenging for you and for the other person. Who are your main competitors? Tell me what you do differently than somebody else. What are your skills? What would your coworkers say about you? Why does somebody come to your business versus, the other place down the street? So just kind of, as much as we think people don't like talking about themselves, secretly we do. So I try, it's true. So I try to, encourage questions that kind of go from that. And honestly, like I try to use, things in their office. If it's an in-person interview, or even with you, I'd be like, oh, that's a cool piece of artwork. Tell me about that. You know what I mean? So just trying to find some sort of commonality that gives you a good jumping off point typically leads to more information.
Awesome. Awesome. So what are some of the things that you are looking forward to this season in Diamond?
Sure. So, I mean, one of the things that I'm looking forward to, and I'll be honest, since I joined Diamond, like my business has exploded. So that, continue that. But the other thing is just kind of making those more connections and helping people, because to me, there's nothing better than helping somebody else get to that next level, because that makes me feel good. But I just think the connections and being able to know enough people that when somebody else throws out there that they need a connection with somebody that does this thing over here, that I can say, hey, wait, I know somebody that does that. To me, that's one of the most valuable aspects, is being able to connect people with other people that can help each other out. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to, more of the business meetings, more of the other trainers too. Like, they're amazing. I'm excited to learn from them too. So I'm just looking forward to the whole thing.
Yeah, me too. I'm really excited for this upcoming season. So any final thoughts that you'd like to share about anything?
Well, I would just tell people that are even considering Diamond or are in it right now and are like, well, I didn't really, do what I should have done or whatever. Don't should yourself, number one.
Number one.
Yeah, like, don't worry about it. Like, pick and choose. Like, it can be overwhelming within polka dot, within Diamond. There's a lot of stuff, but pick and choose what works for you. Focus on the training. You're like, well, if I have the marketing down, maybe I need to do this instead. Like, choose what works for you and focus on that. Don't try to do everything, because you'll be overwhelmed and it won't work. So that would be what I would recommend. And I'm just looking forward to helping people confidently verbalize about themselves, write about themselves, and put themselves out there so that everybody else knows how awesome they are. That's my goal this year.
Awesome. I love that. Well, I'm going to share just a couple of little tidbits about Diamond for people that are watching, so that they can go, what is Diamond? Why do I want to be a part of it? And when does it open? Because currently it is closed, but it opens on October 28th. Our season begins on December 1st. So we have a window of opportunity for people to kind of get their feet a little wet and and smoothly transition into Diamond before it starts. And we have some opportunities coming up for people that would like to kind of learn more and check it out more. November 6th, we have our Diamond Trainer Q&A that's going to be open to all members. They can come on and hear from some of our current trainers and then some of our new trainers, and that's going to be super awesome. Laurel, our event coordinator, will be hosting that. And that'll be at, I want to say it's 3 p.m. Central Time. God, I hope I'm right on that. there's an event somewhere.
You are. I silently flipped my calendar. Yes, 3 p.m. Central Time.
Yes. And so there's actually a RSVP link for that. And then on November 12th is our Online Business Connect for Diamond. And we are also opening that up to all polka dot members who would like to come and see what it's like to connect with diamonds. That'll be at 10:30 a.m. Central Time Zone, and there's an RSVP link for that too that we will share. So we do have a waiting list open for anyone who wants to stay in touch and receive information. It's not a commitment. It's just saying, I'd like more information. I like to be kept in the loop. So we're really excited to start the season, and we'll be interviewing trainers every day this week, Monday through Sunday, and then Monday opens up our membership. So I'm super excited. If anyone has any questions, you are welcome to reach out to me, Elaine at polkadotpowerhouse.com. We have now a public Facebook page that's really exciting. So you can go and give us a like. That'll be super awesome. And I'll make sure to put some links in the comments of this post so people can have easy access to all of the information. So thank you so much, Heather, for taking the time to let me interview you, my first one. And I'm like so excited that it worked. Like, technology worked today, and I'm so excited.
That is exciting, yes.
It is exciting. Sometimes it's hit or miss, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh, I know. And yeah, like I said, I would just encourage anybody that's considering diamonds to check out some of those events and just see if it might be a right fit for you, for sure.
Yep. And you can learn more information on the Polka Dot Powerhouse website. If you just go to polkadotpowerhouse.com, click on Join the Sisterhood, and you will see all of the benefits and be able to get onto the waiting list and be added to our email, just so we can send you information and keep you updated on the events that we have coming up. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you have any questions for Dr. Heather, put them in the comments and tag her, and she will be more than happy to answer your questions, because that's just how she is.
All right, thanks, Elaine.
Thanks, we'll see you guys later. Bye.